Ah, it's that time again. Rant time. Now, I know most of you probably see my video about Unoriginal Hetalia OCs, but this time we are talking about something different. Undertale. I've kinda gotten sucked into the fandom a bit. Oops. Don't worry, I'm not kinda done with Hetalia. I just have a skeleton of Undertale influence now. I am so sorry for that. But in all seriousness, just give me a bit of time to find a balance between the two. Now, in my last rant, I talked about how unoriginal Hetalia OCs can be. Well, Undertale challenges me on how unoriginal OCs can get. You see, in the Undertale fandom, the most popular characters by far are the two skeleton brothers, Sans and Papyrus. Sans is likable because he's laid back and makes bad puns all day. Papyrus is likable because at first glance, he seems like a strict older brother, but turns out to be the goofiest little brother. Yes, little. The Japanese version of the game has Papyrus, sorry for that, they have Papyrus refer to Sans as Aniki, which is Japanese slang you use when referring to your big brother. Back on topic, not to mention the spaghetti admiration Papyrus has, even if he's not the best at making it. While it may be easy to see how likable these characters are, there comes a point in time where you need to stop. Quote Filthy Frank here.
It's time to stop! It's time to stop, okay? No more!
If you go to Google Images and type in Undertale OC, you are hit with wave after wave of skeleton OCs. I even had to come up with a challenge where I told my followers on Quotev being basically Tumblr, except less known with smarter fandom trash, that every time they saw a skeleton, cat, or dog OC, they'd take a shot. But of course, I had to come up with an alternative and told them that they could also put a marshmallow in their mouth. I told them that if the skeleton OC just so happened to be the little sister of Papyrus and Sans, and had a thing for puns or spaghetti, they had to put 2 marshmallows in their mouth. Now, my problem with Undertale skeleton OCs isn't just that they're unoriginal. It's that most of the time, they're Mary Sues that can be messed up to the equivalent of a My Little Pony Alicorn OC. Before you get your pennies in a twist and dislike the video, let me explain. Sans is, by far as we've seen in the Genocide run, one of the most powerful enemies in the entire game. He's even been able to break the fourth wall, like Flowey, and teleports from place to place because of his knowledge of the timeline. Not to mention that popular fandom suggests him and Papyrus are the sons of the great scientist Gaster, who built the core and may have been even more powerful than the two. The way I see it, skeletons seem a bit godlike. The plausible reason Papyrus isn't as powerful as Sans is because he can't muster up the intent to kill Frisk. He can only capture, just as instructed by Undyne and intended by his good nature. If skeletons are really this powerful of beings, there should be a limited amount of them. If the world becomes overrun with powerful beings who have knowledge of the timeline, having characters like Sans and Flowey becomes absolutely pointless. Now, in my last video, I talked about my OC, Akrio, and how she's a country from another planet, so she's more original and I can have more creative freedom and blah blah blah. And I am a bit guilty of putting her in an Undertale AU, alternate universe, where she's the adoptive sibling of Sans and Papyrus. Oops. But she has no knowledge of the timeline, doesn't actually have a personality copy of the two, and she's not too powerful, given the only attacks I've given her so far don't actually do damage. The damage comes from touching the edges of the battlefield, which she tries to push you into. She's not even a country, and is a normal werewolf in the AU. She's not even referred to by her country name, and is instead referred to as Morella, or more recently, Serana. I actually have the battle written out at the moment, and you can check that out when I'm done talking. And it also has the rest of her information, which could be up for change in the near future. The way I see it, if you're going to make an OC related to a canon character, they should be adoptive, and shouldn't be equal to their adoptive family member, unless their adoptive family member isn't really that special. If you're going to try to make them equal, They should be skilled in a different area to the equivalent of their adoptive relative. Like if one is super strong, the other should be super smart. This would allow for more diverse personalities, and it doesn't devalue canon characters. Plus, it could fit into canon better, rather than if you have them randomly show up as blood siblings and be the exact same person. To sum it up, skeleton OCs just seem a bit Sue-ish to me. Not that every skeleton OC is a Sue. There's probably some good ones out there, but there needs to be a limit on them, and they need to have more diverse personalities and appearances, rather than just copying their brothers. Before I go, I mentioned a bit ago that I told people to take a shot every time there was a cat or dog OC, but usually they do have more diverse personalities. They just show up a lot. So kudos to you guys. You're still more original than skeleton OC creators. Alright guys, that's all I got for today, so I'll be going now. Peace out.
It's time to stop!